Hi there, is this Frank? Frank, I've got to ask you a question. To start with the question approach. Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon Sales. We're a sales and training agency based in the UK as well as the USA and serving clients worldwide. And here today in day number 49 of 119 days of cold calling training, we're here to talk about the start with the question approach. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link below to get the additional 17 strategies that are not shared in this training. So the start with the question approach is a pretty slick one to throw someone off balance in quite a playful and potentially likable way. It won't work with everybody, but it really depends upon also what the question is and how interesting that question is. And examples of that, or let's go back a step. No, let's start with let's start with an example. So a question might be, Frank, I've got to ask if you've been watching some of the other the interesting company name approach. So Deepak, let's imagine someone's cold calling Deepak. I've got to ask, did you come up with the name Pearl Lemon Sales? Who was the genius that came up with that name? And then I might respond, well, yeah, Rich, I don't know if I'd call myself a genius, but yeah, no, it was me. You're like, well, I take my hat off to you, sir. I've been calling, and here I've been calling agencies that call themselves something something agency or something something marketing or something something communications. Well done, you. So you could combine, a question with a compliment, which would be quite a nice way to ultimately, tie it in. And really, to be honest with you, the start with the question approach should ultimately be with a view towards complimenting somebody, because that's why you are asking the question. Okay. So a different example could be, Richard, I've got to start with a question. And if they've got an interesting last name, let's say their last name is Suzuki, as an example. Okay. So it might be, Richard, I've got to ask you. So hi there, sorry, is this Richard? Richard, I've got to ask you a question. Your last name, what a damn good last name. Do you own a motorbike or a motor car that happens to be a Suzuki as well by any chance? Richard Suzuki in his Suzuki. That could elicit a laugh potentially. So starting with a question and being playful is an excellent way to go. If we're not dealing with the terms of the company name or someone's personal name, then we could also look at potentially other questions as well. So other questions could be, so Richard, I've got to ask, mate, and then now we move back to, let me find here we go. We can move back to popular event small talk. Okay, popular event small talk. The start with the question approach could refer to names, as we've just discussed. So names here. It could refer to news, so something that's happening in the news. And it could be, of course, not just popular news, but it could be industry news. And industry news industry news, I mean, you would know industry news. It might be to do with, for example, compliance, or it could be something that's happening in the sales industry. It could be, have you heard about Salesforce and what's happened? It could be about a famous company that that's in your niche. So elements like that are really a good way to ultimately lead a call. I do like, as you can see with how I open this, that starting with a question that then ultimately leans into a compliment. For me, that's a really strong way to start a call. And if you can think of other elements, we've got popular news, we've got industry news, we've got surprising industry statistics, but generally the approach of a question like cool name, cool personal name, there's probably going to be others as well. And it could be something that's really left field as well. We've seen that work before. Richard, listen, before I get into it, I've been having this debate. I've been having this debate with some of my colleagues in the office. So if you had the choice between, and the choice between like funny X's and Y's. So if you had the choice between, and it could be in relation to the product that you sell as well. So we were calling for a company that is raising investment for their whiskey business. So we could say, Richard, I've got to ask a question. If you had, so hi there, sorry, is this Richard? Richard Dawkins. Brilliant, Richard. Look, I've got a really quick question to ask. It's a simple, yes, it's a simple optional. It's a simple pick your choice answer. If you had a choice on your desk at the end of a hard day between a glass of scotch or a glass of whiskey, which one would you choose? And see what they say, and then based upon that, we can talk about, the investment, and you could even do different types of your same product. So if you had to choose between a single malt whiskey or a double malt blah blah blah, then that would be another example. And another company we're raising money for, they sell dental hygiene products. So we could say, if you had to choose between flossing or brushing your teeth and you couldn't do both, which one would you do? Or I've got to ask a question, what do you do at the end of the day? Do you brush and then floss? Do you floss and then brush? Or are you a secret brusher? So guys, can you see some of the examples that I'm running with here? The point is, so would you do X or Y? Which do you prefer, X or Y? All of these types of questions are great playful questions to use as an experimental approach to see what happens on the call. So there you have it, guys. To start with a question approach.
Remember, we've got 17 gated strategies just waiting for you. All you need to do is bing, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description below to get access to those 17. Get some.